I recently learned about a gentleman named Bill Strickland, a social entrepreneur from Pittsburgh. Bill grew up in inner-city Pittsburgh and started the Bidwell Craftsman Guild, which targets at-risk and inner-city youth by getting them involved in the arts and music. The students learn much more than how to shape clay, take pictures, and appreciate jazz. They leave the guild knowing that they have the potential and tools to become successful and productive citizens. Bill has authored a book called Make the Impossible Possible. He has taken his successful model to other areas throughout the country. And we intend to engage Bill in some fashion so that we can learn from his success and provide these same opportunities to the youth in our community. So I'd like to fill you in on some details of our initial plans for WaterFire Sharon. Here's Conley Boulevard, Quaker Steak. This lot here is owned by Primary Health. This is the Gilbert's building, Huntington, F&B Winter building, which everyone that's seen what they've done to this building looks great. It's beautiful. So this is our initial plan. Barnaby said we have to have at least 50 braziers, and that's what we've laid out here. So the concept would be to basically have a figure 8 as we walk around. You'll be able to hear the music all throughout the area, and then we'll have a few braziers here. It was interesting, Barnaby asked about the portion of the river that you can't see that is the old Bicentennial Park. And unfortunately, the Bicentennial Park is in disarray right now. There is a plan in place to revitalize that park, and I think if we're successful with WaterFire Sharon, down the road we'll be able to get that Bicentennial Park to a point where it'll be a pleasure to walk along the banks of the river, and then we can expand WaterFire over the years. Our plan was to do 3 events this year in the fall and 6 events next year. That's what we budgeted for. But there's some mitigating circumstances that we have to address. And some of the things that are happening in Sharon right now, there is a streetscape planned for East State Street, and there's also a streetscape plan for Chestnut. Also, they're looking to redo this not this parking lot, the parking lot next to the chamber, parking lot here, and then the garage. They're going to rehabilitate that. So we need to make sure that people can come into the area without major construction going on. And we also need to make sure that we're prepared to put on a world-class event. So we won't do it until we're ready. So it may not happen this fall, but we haven't given up yet. We'll know here, I think, fairly soon. But we will definitely be doing WaterFire in Sharon next year, beginning in the summer. I'd like to mention to you some of the cost aspects. What we budgeted for the 3 events plus the 6 events is about $500,000. And that's a lot of money, and we respect that. When you look at the breakdown of what incorporates those costs, a number of the upfront costs are one-time costs, and that consumes about 55% of the budget. The actual braziers that hold the wood and float on the river, that line item alone is $125,000, and it represents about 26% of the budget. We've reached out to several in our manufacturing community that want to help us build these braziers, and there's a good chance that we'll be able to reduce that cost or possibly do it as in-kind services. So that 26% of our budget, we think we can whittle that down. Other expenses are the boats to navigate and tend the fires, ultimately have patrons be able to have an experience on the river. The sound system is a large expense because the quality of the sound is critical to the success of the event. That incorporates about 17%. And then there are training costs, both for members of our team to go to Providence to work with the folks at an actual water fire, and then there's also training costs for Providence water fire volunteers to come down and work with us. So costs add up in a hurry. So that's where that budget is mostly comprised. But again, 55% of that is up front. So we'll keep everyone informed in regards to the costs and the budget as we move forward. There are licensing rights associated with doing WaterFire with WaterFire International, but we think they're reasonable for the brand that we would be getting. A requirement of holding a WaterFire event is that it is free and open to the public. It is truly egalitarian. Everyone is equal. There are no box seats or reserved seating. There are no bleachers. It is open to everyone. WaterFire Sharon is an independent, nonprofit arts organization and will be administered by the Community Foundation. Financial contributions are tax deductible. All of our costs and expenses will be fully transparent, and we have no paid staff. It is all built on volunteerism. To light the flames of WaterFire Sharon, we will need the generous and voluntary financial support of our community foundations, businesses, and citizens. As I mentioned earlier, 6 million visitors come to Mercer County each year. The Grove City outlets, Wendell August Forge, Craniacs, Daffins, Ryers, The Winter, the original Quaker Steak and Lube, and our golf stay and play packages all draw many visitors to Mercer County. WaterFire Sharon builds on this base of tourism and adds a new branch to this growing tree of economic opportunity, arts and culture. We are fortunate to have a vibrant artist community in our area, which include artists from our surrounding counties. WaterFire Sharon will shine a light on these artists and provide them a repeat venue to share their talents and their crafts to a broader audience. WaterFire Sharon will also serve as a catalyst to drive additional art and cultural events, and will over time lead to an improved waterfront so that not only can the Shenango River be enjoyed during a WaterFire event, but it can be enjoyed and appreciated any day of the year. We hope you recognize the potential benefits and the impact that WaterFire can have on our community. Before we close our presentation with another brief video, I would like to share a few additional remarks from others. From Representative Mark Longetti. I believe that this project has tremendous value and would benefit countless people in our community and beyond. Western Pennsylvania certainly has experienced its economic challenges over the past few decades. However, Providence, Rhode Island experienced similar challenges when Barnaby Evans created WaterFire in that community. The result was an incredibly positive economic and cultural impact for Providence. WaterFire Sharon aims to replicate that positive impact in Western Pennsylvania. In recent years, the strained Pennsylvania state budget has severely limited funding for the revitalization of downtown communities like the Sharon, PA area. However, local businesses and community leaders from our area have stepped up to help make the WaterFire Sharon project a real possibility. WaterFire Sharon would be a conduit for the arts in our community, which is a distinct need. Public school funding cuts have particularly exacerbated this need amongst our youth. I believe that WaterFire Sharon would enrich the appreciation of culture and the arts in our area. The beautiful Shenango River runs through the heart of downtown Sharon and presents a perfect venue for WaterFire and the artistic and cultural activities that would flow from it. The general public would receive the greatest benefit, as WaterFire Sharon would be open to the public without limitation. From Gary Mazaris. I have now had the opportunity to experience WaterFire on 2 occasions. To say that these experiences have been overwhelming would be an understatement. The amount of traffic and hustle and bustle of the downtown area over the WaterFire weekend is incredible. Knowing the history of Providence and how it came back to life because of WaterFire was truly proof of the strength of the event. Personally, having been involved in the Bavarian Fun Fest for almost 20 years and realizing what an event of that type can draw to the community, it made me believe that WaterFire could produce a rebirth to our Western Pennsylvania area. Little things are big, and I truly believe that. But I also realize that Sharon in particular needs something bigger and more impactful again. WaterFire, to me, looks like a natural. Lastly, from Jennifer Barbarak. I believe in our river and its beauty, and I want people to enjoy the river, thereby wanting to improve it and protect it. I want the people in this community to love the river and feel that it belongs to them. I believe this event, needing many volunteers in many different capacities, will give people in this community a reason to want to volunteer on our river, to want to clean it up, and to want to be near it, watching it, enjoying it, and endearing them to it. I truly believe this is the way to make people realize this is no longer a dirty, stinky river, but that it is a beautiful work of art and of itself that will provide not just the water for us to drink and fish for us to eat, but hours and hours of artistic and recreational enjoyment. Thank you again for coming this evening. I would ask that you please consider supporting WaterFire, either financially or through volunteering. There are many ways that you can become part of this transformative and exciting event. I am pleased to announce that through a brief fundraising period, we have solicited and received pledges in the amount of $250,000. This gets us halfway to our initial goal of $500,000, which we will need to put on WaterFire events for a period of 2 years. I would like to acknowledge the following for their generous contributions of $25,000 each. The Strimbu Memorial Foundation, subscribers encouraging economic development, or more commonly known as SEED, the O'Brien Children's Memorial Fund, the Quaker Steak and Lube family, the Winter family, Ron and Gail Anderson, and Joy Cone Company. There have been a number of other pledges. Yeah, thank you. There have been a number of other pledges ranging from $100 up to $5,000. We are extremely grateful to everyone who has given thus far. I am also pleased to announce that we have received a grant in the amount of $30,000 from the Mercer County Tourism Bureau. On behalf of WaterFire Sharon, we thank you all for your generous contributions and support. Please feel free to have another glass of wine or a beer or a soft drink after the closing video presentation. Also, please do not hesitate to reach out to the WaterFire team with your questions and comments. I would like to close with the quote that was highlighted at the beginning of this presentation, that by everyone doing their small part, we can completely transform a place or a city or a life or a community. We are celebrating the glory that can be brought working all together. Thank you again for coming this evening.